Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Was gonna go out and get some errands done, but it's now raining. Previous client emails. Thanks, sir. Could you suggest some hobbies based on your overall assessment of our email exchange? I'm an avid reader and enjoy intellectually stimulating conversations, but I want to enjoy something probably a bit outdoors and physical. I said I'll review the email. I said, I'm a cerebral person, so reading is my favorite. However, I'm looking for something more outdoors and is a bit physical. It's difficult for me to commit to gym. We'll want to get into that lifestyle. Plus, my work as a specialist involves a lot of travel and at times physically intensive field work. Due to this, my weekends are generally for rests. I want your suggestions based on your overall assessment of our conversation. So let us review our conversations. There's that email. And then this email. I'll try and keep things anonymous. You are from overseas. You're an engineer. Received your master's in the U.S. One insight on how to deal with not fitting in well. Family, friends, blah, blah, blah. I talked about you're from a different country, different culture. If you just count along, hey! Cheeseburgers and blue jeans, let's go. There'd be something wrong. So that's natural. Grew up, just to apologize to the audience, I don't want to read more or expose this guy. Dad's a little bit out of the picture. I feel here. You got family strife. I find solace by discovering your videos and seems we agree on many. Okay, well here, you like Rollo Tomasi, Rational Male, Stardust, Thinking Ape. And if you're more cerebral, here's, I'll tell you this, I don't know why I didn't think of this before. I don't know why anyone reads books. These things, physical books. I got The Pence Principle, Randall Bentwick, previous sponsor. Pay me some money, someone sponsor him again. But what's great about outdoor activities, you throw your headphones on and you go. And you could take in books, you could take in philosophy. I mean, my life would not even be, I'd say it's almost provides 50% of my value in life now that I can throw on my headphones and download all these podcasts. I think that's one of the greatest things of technology. So whatever outdoor activity or hobby you choose to do, if it does not involve people, you're not there being socializing, I would realize that you could also partake in being cerebral if that's what you enjoy most in life, philosophy, reading, whatever else, because of audiobooks. So that I know that doesn't say specifically what hobby to engage in, but if there's no one around, man, dude, I bring backup headphones in case my other headphones go dead, because I'm like, I'm not going for an 8-hour hike and just sitting there listening to the birds in nature. It's like I've done that enough. I don't need to do that. So that's one thing. Where is it? Also hyper aware of red pill ideas. I know this is going to sound weird and hypocritical because he is racist, and I know you're not white, but one guy you may want to take a look at, sinlibsoch.com, and his mindfulness and meditations, and if you click on the podcast, break it down, it's motivations and meditations. Very simple, very philosophical, not long. You may enjoy that kind of podcast or any kind of philosophy podcast. Reason myself out of religion, blah, blah, blah. Does it sit well with close affairs, blah, blah, blah. Your IQ is about 135. Video. But thank you. Okay. I had a guy, Texador. This guy had a cool name, Texador. Like if I'm gonna have a son, his name's gonna be Texador. And he was a geologist, and he'd send me pictures of all the cool places. Now you're in a similar field, and you do a lot of traveling. I gotta imagine there's gotta be some beautiful parts of the country, if not the world, that you go to. So I would get into hiking. Again, admittedly, that's a little bit of my bias. It would also fully avail yourself of being able to continue to listen to podcasts and headphones and things like that. Look out for mountain lions, by the way. Just saying that. Mountain lions, not friends. That would, and the main reason I'm recommending that is because in your profession and field, you're going to be traveling a lot and going out to a lot of remote locations. Along with that, if you're also interested in that field, and I find this very calming and relaxing. It's not terribly physical, but I do rock collecting and agate hunting and fossil hunting. So while you go hike out into these far parts, your background would certainly help in that, I'd imagine. That's another thing to add a little bit of a more surreal. One of my favorite things to do, might even be buried out there, is go to the agate fields of northwest Nebraska. Now, most people are going to find this horrendously, boy, they do walk around a field and look at rocks. I'm like, yes, but a very special rock. And then I show them, and it's so sad. It's so sad because these agate beds have been picked over for hundreds of years. So all the great pieces are gone. I mean, you could go down to the local rock store and get an agate for, $10. That's better than anything I've ever found. Well, except for one. I found I take it back. There's a couple I found that are really good pieces. But for the most part, it's just to go out there and the calm and the relaxation. But it's the same thing with fossil hunting or rock. You go out to where no one else is going to go until you find out everyone's been there already picking over the good rocks. But something like that, if you're going to hike and you're in interesting geological areas, and especially with your background and training, I think you might find rock hounding a quasi-physical activity. You got to get out there. I mean, a lot of people, they'll do roadside geology where they'll just pull off to the side of the road because someone cut away. Oh, look, fossils. It's like little ammonites and nothing exciting. But if you're willing to hoof it and climb and get out to places where no one else has been until you find there's a Coke can, albeit it was from the 70s or 60s, but there was a Coke can. I'm like, God damn it. That I found is at least good cardio and some good outdoor activity. There's always mountain hiking and climbing. I like mountain climbing without gear. And people say, you climb mountains without gear? It's like, yeah, but you understand. Like I only do peaks where I can get up it and down it in one day. I don't camp. I don't climb scale without... I mean, like, is there a path that goes to that tall peak over there? Can I do it in a day? Might be a long day, but I don't carry this gear and screw in the spikes and look like Sylvester Stallone and Cliffhanger. I don't do that. I'm not. A lot of people won't even consider me a mountain climber, but I will find, and there's plenty of mountains out there, but maybe just overall hiking is one thing to consider. If you're looking for something a little bit more rigorous, you could get into rock climbing where you're actually climbing the rocks, and there's two ways to do that. You go to an actual gym, which now you have a social aspect to it, and now you can hang out with people and there's rock climbing clubs. Or you could go out to places where there's actual rock climbing. The problem is you need to be in the west or someplace where there's cliffs to climb, and then you got to haul your gear out there, and you got to get chalk, and you got to get, in Red Rocks Canyon is a loop you can do, and you can see the white chalk going really high up where people have, what are the spikes they put in? Pinions? Is that what they're called? So you could get into that. If you're looking, though, for outdoor activity, and a lot of the outdoor activity, there's not a lot of... Most of your physical stuff is going to be cardio. It's going to be legs-based. Because unless you're specifically dedicating yourself... Rock climbing is about the only thing I can think of where you're exercising your arms. The rest of it is going to be hiking, volleyball, a sport of some kind, cycling, rafting, canyoneering. That's something, not canyoneering. Canyoneering is different. You raft down canyons, whitewater rafting, but you got to have whitewater rapid, and then there's the cost of the gear, or you got to rent it. Canyoneering is interesting. You got to have canyons for that. Zion National Park has some of the best canyoneering out there. Need gear for that too. So I'd like to recommend something specific to your profile and all that, but the only thing I can really come up with is something that parlays off of your technical background and the fact you're being hauled over across the country in the world. So you got to see some interesting stuff. So that's predominant majority of exercise is some kind of usage of the legs. So that is kind of what I would be recommending. Now, if you want to start talking to people and you want to be outdoors, you're kind of, again, it's legs again because you're outdoors, but a running group is always fun. I like running. There was a great running group in the Twin Cities until people showed up and they didn't talk. And they were late too. There's cross-country skiing if it's cold. Again, it really depends on climate and then gear. But pretty much anywhere, yeah, you can do the running. But when it comes to social activities and outdoor activities where there's other people around, it's the exact same activities. You just hang out with a group of people. So this again, meetup becomes your best friend. Hopefully you're near a major metro area. Your outdoor hobbies are going to be largely determined by what's around you geographically speaking. If you're in Salida, Colorado, you're going to go whitewater rafting. If you're in, I don't know, New York City, you're not going to do anything. You're going to stay in and drink. If you're in Knoxville, Tennessee, oh, you're going to climb these cute little hills they call them the Smoky Mountains. If you're in Wyoming, you're going to go climb real mountains. Maybe fishing. Fishing might be something, but that's more meditative. And you got to get into a group. What I would do is take a more scientific approach, like what's available geographically where you're at. Do you want that? Do you want people around or not? Okay, and there's plenty of outdoor activities that have both. You could do it by yourself. You do it. What I'm unfortunately going to have to conclude is that hobbies, the best hobbies are one-person hobbies because you don't have to wait around for people to do it. Like I would love to play poker more regularly, just shits and giggle poker. But you can't find a critical mass of people because you got to rely. You got to have like 4 or 5 guys to play it. Dungeons and Dragons, same thing. I would love to play Dungeons and Dragons. You need 4 or 5 people to play that. Hiking, so go to already dedicated groups of anything that interests you. And that was the final point I was going to make is just try it, sample it. Whatever is interesting. Whatever is also not interesting. I thought I would have hated golf, and then I tried it and I loved it. Golf, is that a sport? Not really. If it's a sport, you're hiking around carrying shit. That's all it is. It's just like camping. You're just hiking. Oh, let's stay out here, and then you hit a ball in a hole occasionally. But first, start geographically. What's available in your area to do? Is it so? Do you want it to be social? All right, see if there's a group that already exists. If not, you could try to create one, but man, it's hard to get people to come out and socialize. My God, the Twin Cities meetup groups. We're going down to the brew pub for board games and brew pubbing. You want to go to the brew pub? Hey, we're going to go and read the Bible at the brew pub. We're going to play old arcade games at the arcade. No, the brew pub. I'm like, do we do anything that isn't at the fucking brew pub? Then it's all moms of the local chapter area momming. Oh, God. And I've talked about this before. Here's what we're going to run in. I'm going to warn you now. I'm going to warn you now. The people who got the best meetup groups are all something you're not. And you need their trait to join. You might get in like Immigrants to America something or other. The fish bake. Oh, cool, let's do a fish bake. Yeah, we got fish. We're going to fry them up and bread them up. It'll be great. But you must be an immigrant. The lesbians and gays have some of the coolest, like, there was this, what was it? It was really cool, and you had to be a lesbian. I'm like, damn it. So be prepared for that letdown. I'm just telling you that's going to happen. Well, there'll be this cool thing. It might be, and you want to be social. Let's say that you want to be social. Open to Jewish Scandinavian. It's like, damn, I don't even qualify on either of those. And then you sheepishly go away. So location, what's available. 2, do you want to be social? Hopefully that intersection comes up with 3 or 4 you could try. 3, don't try as many things as you want. Start with things that pique your interest. But then 4, don't assume you wouldn't like it. That's how I got into lapidary. Was I didn't necessarily like it. I always kind of had a thing for fossils. But there was this guy who's got to teach you how to polish rocks. You know, how boring is that? Well, there you are cutting stuff and polishing it. Oh, you got to use this kind of thing and this device, and then you create something really cool. You're like, wow, that's a jewelry piece actually. But I'm trying to think with outdoor. Yeah, man, it's like maybe track and field. There's going to be like a relay race. Something more Olympic sports like pole vaulting. Boy, that'd be... Maybe I should look into pole vaulting. Hang on, there's an idea the old Capmeister didn't think of. Pole vaulting. Watch, I'll show up. It'll just be me and 2 guys pole vaulting. But taking that deductive logic approach should kind of narrow down your field so you come up with a list. And then, dude, just go. Yes, man. You know, just yes, man. Just go. Don't worry about, oh, do I really want to do it? I've had to force myself to go to a couple things. And then finally, here's the other thing. Don't get deterred. I remember going to my 3rd and final Dungeons and Dragons group where I'm like, done. I am done with all the mental problems. I am done with all the psychological issues. I'm done. I'm just done. I'm done with the theater and no one playing the freaking game. I am done with the babysitting. And then you just gotta try something else. But I won't lie to you, at your age, I think you're no young pup. I mean, you're not old. You ever mention your age? Certainly with your intellect. But I'm gonna assume you're not some 23-year-old kid. You might be. But as you get older, it is just pulling teeth to find a group of people that want to go and do something. So the great thing about hobbies is if it's a one-man gig, you can pretty much choose whatever you want. But you're also going to probably want some kind of social aspect, which there's some that Venn diagram and crossover. But don't expect these to be well-attended groups. Don't expect it. And if you do show up, don't expect them to all be on your level. Don't assume they're all going to be like, God, one time, because I'm very precise with my time. I think I had to get to a movie that night, and I met at this meetup group. I think it was the last time I went to the running meetup group, and we were supposed to start the run at 7, and everyone's still dilly-dallying, and I'm like, where's the leaders of this group? Why aren't we running? And inevitably, I'm like, okay, I'm going off my own. I just started running. Because it was 15 minutes, and I barely got back in time for my other obligation. I mean, just be prepared that if you're going to rely on other people, be prepared to be let down. But I won't lie, man, it's wonderful going out golfing, hiking. I wish there was a way I could listen to headphones while motorcycle riding, climbing, just listen to my headphones and go. And on the occasion, when you meet some good people, I went bowling with the Libertarian group in Vegas. It was really good. But yeah, I wish I said, oh yeah, Bob, your 3 best hobbies are going to be X, Y, and Z. About the only thing I could get to that specific would be you look into something a little bit more intellectual, like the fossil hunting, the agate hunting, things that pull from your career that then also allow you to continue your favorite hobby, which is listening to books or philosophy or reading. But then if you wanted something a little bit more physical, and if you want weights, it's going to have to be the gym. Yeah, it's your hiking, climbing, running. Marathon group, there's some social people there. A little weird. They all got to run 26 miles for some reason and blow out their knees. But marathon, there's a bit of camaraderie there. But yeah, go through that deductive reasoning. What's available? Do I want people? Take my favorite ones that meet those 2 criteria, but don't eliminate others, and then don't get deterred. And hopefully something will come up. But I'll tell you this, it's a job unto itself to find hobbies that you really like. Ladies, just pick up a hobby. Yeah, how about I'm trying. All right, wish I could be more specific, but unfortunately I can't. But best of luck to you out. Email me back. I'm kind of curious what you picked. Maybe you give me an idea. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.